Welcome to my podcast. My name is Karina. I come to you from the Pacific Northwest, where I live with my partner, our 2 kitties, and 2 adopted Mustangs. Information about the Wild Horse Adoption Program will be in the episode description box. This podcast covers knitting projects, my horsemanship journey, and my other passions like vegetable gardening and bicycling. If you're new here, I hope you find the content interesting. If you're a returning viewer, it's always great to have old friends. The format of this channel typically includes musings on an early walk to the barn to feed the horses, then knitting content, some catch up on the horsemanship journey, and finally more musings or maybe a little bicycling footage if I was lucky enough to get out. Enjoy, and I hope to see you soon. Hey friends, I thought I would do, sorry about my finger in the screen. I'm in the barn and I thought I would do some more like daily vlog type videos. Today is Saturday, June 28th, and I've been thinking about this for a while. I can't really articulate the motivation except that I find a day in the life or a portion of a week in the life vlogs very engaging. So I thought I would try it. You'll probably get more horsemanship, gardening, and stuff like that. I don't plan on having a tripod or anything, so it'll be just videos that I can take from the barn. Right now, I am going to let the horses out of their breakfast pens, so I'll show you how that's done. So the first thing I did is I unplugged the electric fence. And this cone, this traffic cone, is a critical part of Braggy's ability to wait. So I call this his emotional support cone, and you can see he's coming in. He knows this game very well. So his job is to really you got to touch it. That's a drive-by. Back up. There's a good touch. There you go. And he gets a cookie for that. And I tell him to wait by holding up a finger. And then sometimes I play a similar game with O, but not always. I plan on riding O in the round pen. So all I do for O is just kind of zhush him out of the way so I can open the gate. Hi, buddy. Hi, cutie. Yeah, and he's good. He's tired of breakfast. I gave him some leftover hay, which, to him that's peasant food, but that's what we eat around here. So this is why I have to unplug the electric fence, is because I have to fling it over a wire fence, and then I open the gate. And Braggy is still waiting in his stall. Odin's nose, however, is right here. Okay, back up. Yeah, okay. So there's Braggy's stall, and he's still in there like a good boy. Here's Odin's nose, in case you were wondering what this is. Good boy. You'll have plenty of opportunity to earn cookies. And so then I walk over here, and I get this fence out of the way. And Odin is grazing in the area that's usually behind this gate, so I'll just open the gate partially. There. Enough to let Braggy out, but enough to give Odin room. So, and there he is, already touching his cone because he's a good boy. And what I do is I stand by his bum because we've been using this for trailer training. Touch your cone. Good job. And his job is to keep his nose straight. Good job. So he gets 2 cookies. And that's how it's done. I take the cone away and then he's free to go. That's how that game works. Good job, buddy. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to invite O into the round pen. You can see he's still over there grazing where he was. I am next to the round pen, and when I start making noises with the gate, see if that gets his attention. And it doesn't look like it did, so I will have to go get him. Okay, he started following me. There he is. Good boy. So this actually makes me feel really good. I'm having a hard time. Come on. That he comes in here when he hears that noise. So it makes me think that the work that we do works for him as well. Good job, buddy. So Odin also has an emotional support cone, and this is a good station for him to stand at while I groom and saddle him. Hi, friends. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to say about this. You will notice that my outfit today is a hospital gown and my left arm is in a sling. So after my enthusiastic start on Saturday, I rode O and I didn't film it. I kind of wish I had, because I would have had a better idea what happened. When I rode, had a great ride. I was just feeling very confident, feeling like Odin was the most sensible and reasonable horse in the world, and basically forgot that he's still a horse. And you have seen the trees and everything else that's around. Well, I was about to get off. We were finished with the ride, and I was just going to hang out and let him relax for a moment. While I did that, I dropped the reins and I was going to pull out my phone and text a friend. Well, something startled him. I don't know what it was, but he suddenly went left and I fell off. I fell off pretty hard, landed on my left hip, which I was very, once I realized I was falling off, I made that decision that I needed to protect my right arm, because that's the one I dislocated in January. Not falling off, just out in the barn or out in the barnyard doing horse chores, and I tripped and fell. So anyway, I landed on my left hip. I have a big bruise, and I immediately realized that I had dislocated my left shoulder. It wasn't as bad, and I was kind of tempted to get up and try to reset it myself. You should never do that. I didn't. I caught my breath. I sat up. Odin came over to me and he lowered his head so that I was able to remove his reins and his bridle so he wouldn't step on the reins and hurt himself with the bit in his mouth. I had also called Randy, who was up at the house, hadn't started weed eating, thank goodness, because otherwise he would have never seen or heard his phone. I probably would have been able to get up by myself eventually. It's just really hard and awkward when one of your arms is dead weight. It threw off my balance, because I can get up off the floor without using my hands. I think that's a good thing to practice. But it's just a different feeling when your body's going into shock because it's badly injured and your balance is off because of the arm is dead weight. Because normally when you get up, you can kind of use your arms for, ballast and balance and stuff like that. So we've got the horses settled, went to the ER, and pretty much it was just such deja vu. It was just such a weird thing. We were in the ER longer, even though it was kind of Saturday morning-ish. Not sure why. I think, it was a different ER doc. They have a different way of doing things. And it took a while before the ER doc decided that I needed an anesthesiologist in order to get the arm back in. And they were, they have to assemble a team because not everyone is there, especially in a small hospital where we live. So they reset it. It's just comical to me that when I'm under anesthesia, I dream about knitting. And when I was coming out of it, I just could kind of feel my fingers like manipulating the needles and stuff like that. And I woke up and my arm was in a sling and it felt a whole lot better. So that was Saturday. Yesterday, I spent the day, I didn't feel too bad yesterday. My arm didn't really hurt that much. I have to be in the sling for at least 48 hours, and today's the end of the 48 hours, and then I can start like kind of moving around a little bit. Randy helped me get dressed this morning, and I'm hoping that I can get in to see the surgeon soon. It would be really ironic if this one needs surgery and it feels like it's not as severe as the one on my right that has done very well with PT. The good news is that my right arm is pretty functional. It still needs strength and coordination, which is going to get that because now I have to be right-handed. So that's pretty interesting. I just, it's kind of, I'm taking this week off from work. Today's June 30th. I texted my boss yesterday and let him know what happened and that I would be out this week. And so it's a short week because it's July 4th, that's the good news. More good news. The other good news is that this time I didn't hurt either of my legs. So that was a major factor in my independence. Last time in January, I said I tore my left hamstring. Well, I didn't do that in this fall, and I just have a massive bruise on my left leg, which I can treat with arnica and probably some ice if I had thought about it, which I can do today. It's supposed to be pretty warm. I can still get out to the barn. I feel pretty confident about that. I mean, yes, I go out to my barn in wearing my hospital gown. Fortunately, the one neighbor that's close enough to see anything doesn't pay that much attention, and I haven't crossed paths with them, so that's good. I have hay bags filled, so I tried filling hay bags yesterday. It's a little awkward and painful, so I'm not going to do that. Randy's been helping me pick manure because I could probably pick, but I can't hold the wheelbarrow with two hands, so he's helping me with that. And I have the one really great neighbor up the road a couple miles who also assists. So that's the news. I am going to walk out to the barn here probably in an hour or so. I need to eat some breakfast so I can get a little bit of ibuprofen and Tylenol in my system and drink my tea. I can knit. That's also good news. I can't really work on the one sweater, the Colorwork sweater, it's just, it was getting hard to manipulate because I'm working on a sleeve that's Colorwork, and it was getting hard to manipulate even with two functional hands. So I'm not going to work on that for a while. I worked on my Bright Access tee, and I started the yoke that has the silk striping yarn in it. So, well, let me show you that because it's right here. And then I have another project, the mini mock neck tank by Jessie Maed Designs, that just is round and round. So I can do that. So here it is. So I finished the length of the body. So sorry, this is so awkward. And then I'm starting on, I assume this is a sleeve. I'm not entirely, or like the top of a sleeve, but you can see the self-striping yarn, and it's hard for me to straighten it out, but this is what it looks like. So hopefully more of the blue that I thought was in this that matched the body, I hope that shows up soon. So that's what I'm working on, and trying to work on getting better. Thinking about getting my hair cut even shorter because I could barely wash my hair with one hand, reach my head with my right hand, and now I can't with my left. So that's one of the things I'm going to do this week. The hay is going to be ready this week, so I have a friend, Randy, will help me with driving the truck out to the field. They have, the farmers have helpers who will help load, and then my great friend who helps me with the horses, she said she could help me unload on Friday. So I don't know what that, I doubt I will have seen the surgeon by then. So I don't know how much help I will be. I mean, it might be just we put a giant tarp over the truck and trailer until I can get back to it. So that's my news for now. That's my vlog. I think I will post this since it's probably about 20 minutes total now. Hope you all are doing well, and take some time to ponder your life choices, and that's something I'm going to do. I don't know that there's really that much. Well, I could have done something differently. I could have had my full attention on O and remembered that he is still a horse, even if he is very sensible and very reliable. So on that note, I'll leave you to it, and I'll do a regular podcast on Friday. Take care.